It's been 70 years since 160,000 Allied troops landed along 15 miles of Norman coastline to liberate Western Europe. Many made it only into a serene tree-lined plateau above Omaha Beach, to the American cemetery at Colleville-sur-Mer, the emotional anchor for Saving Private Ryan. 9,000 Americans killed on D-Day and in the weeks after in the Normandy campaign are buried here. 3 local soldiers are here, and in 2010 Rio Grande High School students found them while touring the battlefields of Europe. On the day the students, traveling with teachers, visited Omaha, there were young men racing tiny sailboats just beyond the breakers, their sails bright oranges and reds. It was as if time and the sea had washed away the violence of June 6, 1944. Understanding that day comes only when a visitor looks up at the bluffs above the beach. They are so steep and offer such a complete field of fire that no American below should have survived. Omaha, assigned to 2 American infantry divisions, was by far the deadliest of the 5 invasion beaches, claiming 2,400 of the 4,000 Allied soldiers killed on D-Day. The invasion nearly failed here. It didn't because the soldiers who willed the victory, now drawn up in immaculate marble rows in the American cemetery, still occupy the high ground. There the students found the grave of one county soldier, Private Domingo Martinez, Plot C, Row 13, grave 38. Martinez's hometown is uncertain. The Army listed only a dead soldier's county. He'd been a farm worker. For kids growing up in the Rio Grande Valley, whose high school is surrounded by row crops, his life is one they can see on their way to school. In the field workers they pass, swaddled in hooded parkas, and can hear in their voices, in the gentle teasing of friends bound together by the kind of labor no CIF athlete could endure for an hour. Another group found the grave of an officer known to be from San Luis Obispo, 2nd Lieutenant Claude Newland. Ironically, Newland's artillery battalion, attached to the 35th Infantry Division, had spent a year training at Camp San Luis. Newland had survived perhaps the costliest fighting of the campaign, near Saint-Lô, only to die hours before the 35th broke out of Normandy to join George Patton's breathtaking race across France to Metz and the German frontier. Domingo Martinez, meanwhile, fought as a rifleman in the 313th Regiment, 79th Infantry Division, in the assault on Cherbourg, a deep water port the Allies were desperate to secure. The original D-Day beachheads couldn't sustain the flow of supplies needed to maintain the Army's fighting in France. While the 79th fought its way through Cherbourg, street fighting is something a soldier likes no more than a police officer likes a domestic violence call. Another local man died in the skies above the city. On June 22nd, 2nd Lieutenant Jack Langston was flying his P-38 in a low-level attack with the 367th Fighter Squadron when Cherbourg's air defenses demonstrated the folly of ordering low-level attacks. Langston died that day with 4 other 367th pilots. He's memorialized. His body was never found at Colleville-sur-Mer. After Cherbourg surrendered, Martinez's 79th Division shifted from street fighting to a drive through the farms and the villages of the Cotentin Peninsula. American commanders gave the 79th far too much ground to cover, and the Germans, who had the advantage of fighting defensively in the bocage, the Norman hedgerows, winnowed the division down. The hedgerows enclosed fields plowed since Agincourt, and were a hopscotch of natural fortresses. Roots and compacted earth had formed defensible walls, and the GIs had to assault them, one by one, to try to root the defenders out. But when the Americans entered a field, the superb German machine gun, the MG-42, annihilated entire rifle squads. It fired so rapidly that a burst sounded like canvas ripping. Army films had incorporated the sound to try to desensitize trainees. So the Americans could hear but never see, in the tangle of the hedges, who was killing them so efficiently. The bocage quickly transformed green GIs into veterans or, indifferently, into casualties. Each division would work out its own solution to hedgerow fighting, including welding teeth using steel salvage from German beach obstacles onto the hulls of Sherman tanks, so they could punch through the hedges and deliver the suppressing fire that would save so many foot soldiers' lives. But one life, Private Martinez's, came to an end on July 12, 1944, near a town called Bolleville. He was 25. The Rio Grande teens had traveled 5,500 miles to meet this young man, so they lingered a while near Domingo's grave. He was their GI. Afterward, they wandered away to touch the cool marble of the crosses and stars of David. They were so young, and the soldiers at Colleville-sur-Mer will always be young, and the power of this place is such that what was happening was very clear. Two generations were speaking together without the encumbrance of words.